Good evening. Hope everyone is well. Nana, how are you doing, sir?
I'm blessed, brother. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. We're gonna go straight into this. We're gonna first of all talk about the games yesterday from the Southern Vets Football League, and then we'll talk about Nana as the manager of kind of Catford Wanderers in terms of like the players and the teams and that he feels has been difficult to actually play against. We will briefly talk about the Vets Cup and also the championship. So let's go straight into the results from yesterday. So no, this is wrong. That is not that is not
Yeah,
that.
it's not surprising from you, is it?
Oh Jesus. Let's go to the correct one. Okay. Hollington beat Bow Street.
Hey.
Well, hold on. That's a home win. I'm not too sure exactly what is that.
Look at the date. Look at the date. Can you get some things right, please, Therese?
Oh, no, that's right. Oh no. Okay, so that was. I don't know why that one's there because she.
Well, that is as I hear it, that's the Holland the Bull Street couldn't fill the team, so far as I'm concerned, a while back. But I think there's been appeals. I think Toby Robinson was doing his march, and Bull Street said they couldn't fill the team because as you know, most of them are coppers. So it's being contested. It's been to the FA and back, and they're still working on it. So that's not done yet. But I suppose, and rightly so. Just my opinion as a committee member on anything, I think the points should go to Hollington. That's just my opinion. But until everything is sorted, it's going to appear as a home win until the FA and everybody sort things out. So that's what's up with that one.
Cool. Sporting Bengal beat LSU Masters today in the London Vets Cup semi-final, 6-4. And then Kuya and Catford Vets drew 2-2 yesterday, and then Bow Street lost to Independent 4-2. And then let's look at the table as it stands right now. Hollington are first, Catford second, Independent third, Masters fourth, Bow Street fifth, Leone Star sixth, Kuya seventh, Sporting Santos eighth. And these are the games happening next week. Independent versus Hollington, Metro Gas versus Catford in the Cup. We've got Sporting Santos versus Kuya. We've got Kamazi versus Bow Street in the Cup. We've got, really that's kind of how it goes, because for some reason it says Santos versus Independent. Santos Independent, that's the kind of week after. So if we kind of talk about next week, it's just Kamazi versus Bow Street, Sporting Santos versus Kawuya, Metro Gas versus Catford Wanderers, and Independent versus Hollington. So as the manager, Nana, of Catford, who has been the most difficult opponent for you to play against, and why?
This may go against popular opinion or choice, but I think Bow Street have been one of the toughest for me. And I'll explain why. So teams like Independent, LSU, Hollington, Kuya, you know what you're gonna get. You know what you're gonna get. You know you're gonna get a proper dogfight. Of course, it feels like a derby. And sometimes it's just, it can be end to end stuff, but it can be very, very tight and not very little separating the teams. However, Bow Street, they stay there. The levels don't drop any part in the game. For me, Ball Street, it's much more of a mental battle more than anything for the players on the pitch, because, and this is just my opinion, they try to drag you into that dogfight, into that, getting into your heads, getting on the onto the referee every single call, and they try to get you off the rhythm. However, they always constantly stay there. They don't go up, they don't go down, they just stay there. And they'll run all day, they'll keep you honest. Um, and if they get a chance, like corner kicks, set pieces, you're damn sure they're going to take it. Um, so for me, they would have been, one of our toughest opponents. You know, for the whole season. Yeah. You think that the game starts and you think, oh, this is going to end up like 3-0, 4-0. This is kind of one of those games, but never ever goes that way. If it goes well for you, it goes absolutely well. I think we beat them 7-2 in the first game of the season, and then we drew 1-1 with them at theirs. And it's also showing they've beaten Korea, they've drawn with LSU. Um,
They've actually
they've
beat
gone
you.
well. They drew with them 2-2, and then they beat them. So it's, yeah, they would be the toughest thing for me. Sleep on them, and sleep on them at your own peril, I'd say.
I would like call Bow Street almost like the crocodiles of this league, where they like may not look pleasing to the eye, but if they hold you, they will take you into deep waters. And actually, if they take you into deep waters, exactly what you said before, mentally, you have to be tough enough to withstand that pressure, because they'll be on you, they'll be on the referee. If they sniff any weakness, they will, they are what I call one of the honest teams that I've ever played against. They, as in that, they like running. They will run and run and run and run, and especially at their ground. So yeah, I would have to agree.
Yeah,
I think Ball Street has a lot of people.
yeah, I agree.
The game yesterday, so we drew 2-2 against Korea. Could you kind of give us your own synopsis of the game?
Oh, again, you know what you're gonna get with Korea, anyways. Obviously, they've been through a bit of a patch. So trying to rebuild and get some fresh blood in. It was a funny one because it's the first time in a long time that we haven't been able to field a team like I'd want to. We have so many injuries. But kudos to the boys. We're still at 15, well, 14, I'd say. It was always going to be a difficult game because they are at the bottom, so they needed the points to stay up. That's how I see it. But for us, and I think that the back of the minds of our boys, the league is already gone. That's just my opinion, personal opinion. That's how I felt. I think I tried to get everybody into the mindset of it's not over until it's absolutely over. But with everything on social media and people speak, it's a small community, so the hunger wasn't as much as I've seen in other games. Um, the pitch wasn't great. Uh, horrible to play football on. Game started and the wind was horrible as well. So it felt like for most times they were more used to the pitch because they tried to put the ball down and play at times. But I felt like the first half, even though we took the lead, they had the lion's share, of the possession. We are not necessarily a possession-based team. Eh, For me, so as I'm concerned, I want us to be effective. I call some of these things like beautiful nonsense. You can pass the ball all you want. If it doesn't go into the back of the net, it means nothing to me. So I'm not looking at that. I'm looking to be effective, how and when we can be. We took the lead in the first half.
No, in second half.
No, in the second half, first half went 0-0. Second half, we came within 10 minutes. We've taken the lead. I think we switched off for about 5 minutes, and they scored twice. I saw the fight that I know these boys, can put up on a weekly basis, which got us back into the game to pushed and pushed and pushed. It just wasn't to be. There were so many chances that we could have put away, but like I said, it just wasn't to be. It's a good game of football for the neutral, because it was end-to-end stuff at times. I thought we should have been more clinical, but that's the way football goes sometimes. So it was a good game of football. Ray and I had a chat afterwards. Good conversation, good chat, and we look forward to whatever happens next season. We probably will meet them again should we progress in the next phase of the um, Beckenham Cup, I believe. Yeah, the Beckenham of the Senior Cup, so because I think they're still in there. So I told them we wish them the best of luck for the rest of the season, and until we meet them again.
It felt like, especially in the first half, it felt like it was a friendly, like it felt like a training game. There wasn't really any energy from. Well, I can't really talk about Korea, but definitely us. Like we wasn't really up and at it. And I genuinely thought once we scored our goal, I thought we would probably get like 2 or 3. Just a little bit of a moment of madness. Yeah, 2-3 minutes. But also as well, what I like about us now is that we have the character to actually get back into games, and we could have won it, but it is what it is. A draw was, I'd probably say, a fairish result. We're still in second place as well. It's not mathematically guaranteed yet, but for our first season, we must be happy about that, right?
Of course. This time last season, or I mean, even before the season was to finish, you remember the conversations. Yes, Catford are gonna fold. Catford cannot compete. We are dead. We are this. We are that. I think that our football has spoken volumes. We are where we are for a reason. We have beaten every single team in this league at least once. If you want to put it into perspective, we have lost to the last season's champions and this season's champions. So we haven't done bad. We've taken 4 points off everybody else. So we haven't done bad at all as a side who are meant to fold and not compete and will be relegated and all sorts. And kudos to the management team, kudos to everybody who's contributed to our progress so far. For me, I'm really looking towards next season because I think that's going to be the most difficult season for us. Everybody knows and understands. There's a lot of underestimation in my view this season, and before people realize it was too late for them. But I don't think anybody will disrespect us when we step on the pitch next season. And that will be how we can galvanize ourselves, keep the hunger going, go to the next step of where we want to go to. That will be telling for us, so I look forward to that.
I think when like not people, let's say Chris and Gary said that, Catford didn't deserve to be in the top division. I think what like those two have to look at is, okay, cool. Like in terms of points and where we finished, I like totally agree. But there was a reason why Seagas didn't want to go up, because you see them now in the championship. They are struggling in the championship. So literally, if it's not Seagas, then we were next in line. And literally, that's the reason why we decided to go up. Because if Seagas went up, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. So,
Sure.
So literally, I think it's not really why did we go up. The question should be why Seagas decided to stay where they are. And facts are facts. Like they are struggling in the championship, and right now we are second in the league. So I think we've been, and after that we've been a credit to the Premier League. There's like no game, and I think teams now like know that if they're going to play Catford, then they've got to be up for it, because we're not going to lay down and kind of literally let like teams overrunners or outplayers. Apart from the Hollington game, where again like it is what it is. Credit to Holland. Yes, also credit to Hollington. I think they've won the league. I think apart from that result, we have given every single team a game.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Hollington. I think they probably deserve it. They started fast and furious, the season, and they did all the hard work in the beginning of the season. But you're absolutely right. You're bang on in terms of, I think if we have a full squad, we give any team in this league a good game.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. So yeah, I'm happy with the progress. I look forward to where we can build from.
So before I talk about the championship briefly, so of course I kind of got a message that came through that LSU lost to Sporting Bengal in the semi-final of the London Bex Cup. So I've got 6-4, and I've like got a message here, and I got a message from the management, and the management says that Sporting Bengal came out in the second half. Okay, so the first half, LSU were 3-1 up at halftime, and what it reads here is that Sporting Bengal came out in the second half like lions and wanted it more. Good luck to them in the final. So again, that's for me was a bit of a shock. I think literally everyone was kind of expecting LSU to literally beat Sporting Bengal, right?
Yes, and the narrative was as well that obviously the league is really gone, so all attention was focused on the County Cup, the London Cup. It's a shame because that was our last hope for the South, for the Southern West League to have another representative in the final. Unlucky to LSU. A loss to them is a loss for everyone in our league, because they were the flag bearers for us. Champions as well. So I know that they've also got quite a few injuries, and sometimes they got bare 11. You see Lloyd playing when he doesn't usually play. So they have tried to put teams out and try to do what they need to do. They never give a game. It is what it is. They're warriors. And like it will be interesting next season. Like I keep saying, because the rebuild is going to be mad. It's a small world, and players will move from here to here to here. So, come the beginning of the season, whatever squad you have will determine what's going to happen to you. As the season goes. You're going to have lots of people back. JB, them lot, they're going to have them back. If you go to Hollington, you go have Andre and them lot back. So it's going to be a very, very good season. And also the teams who are going to come up. Yeah, it's getting more difficult. It's getting even more competitive every season, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's a kind of great segue into the championship, and of course, like we've like spoken about it, and we've like spoken about it briefly in terms of the competition from the championship to the Premier League, and like is the Premier League as hard or as tough as it was 5, 6, 7 years ago? And we will probably do, I'd say, a video about this. It's a funny one to me because I think players are fitter now, but if you're kind of talking about like the teams like Wombells, LSU, you're talking about Defiance, VCD, Metro Gas, when they were firing Glebe,
Charcoal.
No, literally, this is literally before Charcoal.
All right, you're talking about 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah, Metro Gas, Stansted. There was about 5 or 6 quality teams, and
Justin and Phillips were there as well.
Yeah, and let's think about it. That gap between Division 2 and Division 1 was huge. Like you really had to be on your mettle if you was going to go into the Premier Division with those types of teams. Now, and again, I mean, people will have their opinions. Do I think, respectfully, do I think Bow Street, this current Bow Street team, could have competed in the top division 5, 6 years ago? I don't think so.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. But well, in terms of it's a tricky one still, because the kind of football was different back then as well. It wasn't as pacey as it is now. It was quite a few ex-pros, ex-semi-pros, just moving the ball about with a lot of intelligence. Cutting teams wide open with very, very simple, basic football, a lot of experience and intelligence. Now, what we have is a lot of young 35s, a lot of fit young men transitioning into the best game. People used to wait till they get 38, 40 before jumping into vets. I remember one Bell's, is it Savage or Bullard or whatever his name is? A lot of them had grey hair, but they could still play. But now, you have the likes of Steph, Dash,
Reese as well.
say again?
Reese.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Reese, very, 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 very young 35s. Between 35 and 37, and they could still be playing up in age. I mean, people like Reese plays on a Saturday and on a Sunday. Last time he played Saturday, and he went and played the doubleheader as well on a Sunday. So they are fit and they have the energy to run, which is a huge difference in the current game. You can account for everything, but you cannot account for pace. Pace is an absolute nightmare, however experience you have to deal with. Pace and energy in the tank. Because if somebody can run for 90 minutes and you have all the experience in the world, it can be very telling, because they don't stop. Unless you knock them out, they keep coming, and eventually you're gonna get tired, and they're gonna get around you. So the competition has really, really changed. There's a blend of skill and a lot of pace, a lot of heart, and it's made all the difference. Um, Division, the Prem, and I'll say two, three, four teams in the Championship are not so far apart. The rest are very, very far apart. If you ask me, very, very far apart. It'll be interesting to see the additions to the Prem.
I I actually think in the next five years, especially in the Premier League, you will like see five different winners. I don't think you're going to see a team that's gonna like literally dominate the like Premier League. I think there's going to be five different winners, and actually those like winners you can kind of argue there are probably teams that that may not even be in our division right now. But like, literally, I just don't think that there's going to be a dominant team that's going to win it every single season, which for me makes it really interesting. Because again, on your day, especially this season, I think like we've all seen what different teams can actually do. When Huntington have their players, you see what devastation that they can do. When we have our players, everyone can see exactly the damage that we can do. With LSU, with Independent, with Kawuya, there's like match winners in every single. And I kind of believe that. Yeah, I just don't think there's like going to be a dominant team now. It's just going to go back and forth.
Yeah. You say Hollington stand out. Hollington stand out. If I were to pick a team, who are likely to win it again next season, if I was a betting man, obviously, yeah, obviously I want Casper to win, but if I'm being realistic, Hollington have shown improving, especially with a goal difference. And if injury hadn't derailed their season, they would have probably finished the season a while back because they were on fire, beating teams double figures and all that, But this is the best. This is best football for you. Things happen, and we've been privileged to push them right down to the wire. Teams like LSU will be back, Independent, we don't know, they will all be back in terms of the recruitment, in terms of the recovery of injured players. They'll be back. So next season is going to be huge, absolutely huge.
So let's say Holland have won the league, and I don't know. I think with like us drawing, I think we were probably the closest team for them in terms of a competition. And this is literally what I said at the beginning of the season when Hollington were beating teams 6, 7s, 5s, 9s, whatever it was, and I could see their goal difference. It was absolutely crazy. And I said to a few of our players, their goal difference is literally giving them one extra point because it doesn't matter what you do, you have to make sure that you actually beat them outright. Like you cannot go into a game thinking, okay, well, we can just get a point here because like the goal difference is close, etc. Like teams had to go out and actually perform and actually beat teams. And when like people say, you know what, the league is still early, there's still games to be played, we've seen already like how like teams had to forfeit games because of lack of attendance and things like that. Like getting points on the board at the beginning of the season is so important to actually kind of settle the team and make sure that you are actually on the road to actually win this trophy because it's not easy. And literally, when like people think we will pick it up after Christmas, it doesn't work like that.
No, you're absolutely right. They started, to be fair, they recruited very, very well. and they had it on the roster. They had a huge roster. I mean, the bench alone could form a whole new team. That's how bad it was, or that's how good it was. So it was very, very expected. We knew how you knew how they were, season before in the championship. So when they recruited and topped those, players up, especially from Santos and Charcoal and all that, you knew they were going to be a force to reckon with. And they got a point early on the board. The damage was done early on because they went like first 6 games unbeaten with some crazy goal difference before the first loss. I think they lost to Independent. I think they've only lost to Independent and us.
And I think they lost to Kawu. Yes, Independent. Yeah, they lost to Kawu in the cup.
In the cup, yeah. That's about it. So, again, we'll see how, because I don't think there are any other cups.
I'm not sure. I don't think they are. I don't think they are.
Well, the league was a priority, so I think they've achieved what they set out to do. They can only build from that next season.
Actually, a quick question, and again, we will probably go into a bigger video, but where would you put like the likes of Hollingtons and the kind of Bow Streets, and I'd say even the Kawulis regarding their like status within Vets football?
The status is what do you mean?
So,
what do you mean?
How I see it is there are pioneers of Vets football, and there are teams that you have to respect. And for me, like the pioneers, and before I get questions and what of course, like we all have been in Vets football because of a generation. So the generation before us will say different teams. But since I've been in Vets football, I'd say like the teams that are pioneers, that teams have to, I would say just the pioneers would be LSU, 100%. Santos. I would say, I would probably just mention those two teams, and then the other teams like Independent, Hollington, Kawulia. I would say everyone has to respect those teams. Everyone has to respect those teams because those teams have been around 4 or 5 years plus, and anyone and at Catford as well. Anyone that's been running a Vets team of for like 4 or 5 years plus, you have to respect them because the cost of living, getting players in week out, and like also rebuilding and assembling a new team every 3 years is very difficult. So I would like put those teams on a kind of different platform. But again, I would like love to get your opinion about what I've just said.
Yeah, I wouldn't go past any of those two teams. That's right now LSU and Santos. Santos are past winners as well. So they are the let's say the OGs. LSU from Peckham Town to London South United. It's been an incredible journey, isn't it? They still have 4 teams down in the league. They're going to be here for donkey's years because there's a good pulley. They have an open age team as well, so it's going to be a good pulley of cycle of players coming through. Santos is unfortunate what's happened to them this season, but yeah, they're part of the OG generation. If just only last season and all the seasons prior to that, if you were going to play Santos, you knew what time it was. Everybody else is just part of the cog right now. They are. We are all yet to make our name in this game currently. Um, Hollis have been here, what, I think 4 seasons now.
I think it's
Um,
their fourth season, I believe.
yes. But but that's the beauty of it. There's a lot of new teams coming through, but also don't forget that it's a small community. So some of these teams, we say new teams, but the players have been players who have been playing in the league for a while. A few others, again, young 35 who are joining. Um, Teams like Long Lane Foden, Glebe Foden, Charcoal, all these teams, Norwood Lakers, all these players join other teams. You have Barnhurst, you have Dynamo, you have War Boys, you have Kumazi. It's a small community. All these teams, they are yet to make their name. Let's see if after 5, 6, 7 years they're still here, doing bits, winning, challenging. Then they can be added to that OG group because we don't have a lot of time in us. Another 5 years or so, and people will be looking to do something else or just slow down when it comes to football. I'm 46 now. Yeah, I want to play as long as I can until I can physically play no more. But final time will tell you that it's okay, and you're never going to be much the young 36, young 35 who are coming through, at a point. So when it's your time to go, then you just find somewhere to go. But yeah, Sporting Santos, LSU, definitely OGs. All respect to them. The others are all parts of the respectable teams, but it will take time and posterity to let us know if they're still going to be here for the long haul.
Very true. Very true. Let's briefly talk about the championship. So there's like Dynamo and Greenwich Borough. And it kind of looks like those two are probably going to get promoted. Do you think those two teams would be a good addition to the Premier League? And also, what will happen to the likes of Santos and Kuya? Will let those two teams get relegated, or are we going to put them in the
I have
league
no idea.
and actually
I
make
have
it?
no idea. I have no idea. I think that the committee will decide one day. Currently, there's only 7 in the top flight.
Yeah.
Well, 8
Well, 8
in the top flight. And ideally, you like it to be 10. So that there's more games, there's more matches, there's more competition. For me personally, I would like 2 teams to come up, and the league as it stands stays as it is. Metro guys didn't want to play in the top flight last season, so they currently sit 3rd. So Dynamo and Greenwich Borough, have been the front runners for the championship this season. So assuming anything happens, I think Dynamo and Greenwich Borough, I think is it next week or the week after? I'm not too sure, but that would be very, very telling because I think it's 31 points and 28 to Greenwich Borough. So that's going to be it's going to be a really, really good game. But they both deserve to come up. They're playing some really, really good football. I think we played Greenwich Borough. We beat them 1-0 it was a London Cup. No, I think it was 3-1.
Yeah,
I believe. I think they also had a red card or something in that game. But we knew that they were good. They were a good side then. they've also signed some really, really good players.
Mhm.
So they definitely deserve to be um, in the top flight. They'll give any team in here a proper game of football. I think what's his name? Gary O'Neill, the former Wolves manager.
Okay.
He actually plays for them.
What, for Greenwich Borough?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's I didn't know that I didn't know West football was getting this serious. I wonder if brown envelopes are being handed out to players and all that. I don't know, but everybody takes it differently, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are credit to the league. They're credit to the league.
And what is that your hopes for this season with Catford as the manager?
It will be amazing for these boys to crown their achievement. I think they've achieved a lot. I think they've worked so hard and achieved a lot already by being second in the league. Nobody, could have bet that we will be where we are. My job is to keep pushing them on to not stop there. With quarterfinals of 2 cups and second in the league, that is not a small feat. They've done really, really well, but the work is not done yet. There are 3 games to silverware, 3 games in any competition for any of the 2 competitions we are in. I think the Senior Cup and the Beckenham Hospital Cup. And there are really, really good teams in there. But they've shown that it doesn't matter the team that they face, they can beat them. We can beat them. So nothing changes. We're going to work as hard as we can. Continue trying to win games of football, and then come the end of the season, whatever happens, I'm really, really proud of these lads. They've done amazing. They've done amazing. It would be good to crown it with some silverware, which is the aim. But whatever happens, I can't be prouder. Basically,
Yeah. Very true. Yeah, I totally agree. I think finishing in the top 2 or top 3 would be amazing. And I think again, even yesterday, even like after the game, I don't know what time you guys left, but when like myself and Answer left, it was going on to 7 o'clock, and everyone was still
yeah,
chatting.
half
So
7, I think.
half
I think
7,
yeah, half 7, 7:45. That's when we left.
half 7. So, and and again, we were like talking about the game, we were talking about other stuff. So again, like but like team is in a really good like place. We've got some amazing characters, amazing footballers, and yeah, like the season's not finished. We still have a lot to play for, and
Yeah,
really
potentially 7 games
7
still to
games.
play. So
Yeah, fingers crossed. Nana, thank you so much for coming on. And again, thank you to everyone that's been watching. Next week, I have someone coming on talking about men and women in a professional office environment, and literally what us men should be looking out for, which is going to be a very interesting conversation, actually. But again, thank you to everyone that's been tuning in, and yeah. Please keep on supporting. Please kind of keep on liking, and yeah, we wish everyone well. Nana, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you everyone next week.
blessings to Reese.